Hey guys, it's me KSMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Shinsuke ex listener. This one is titled Emotional Outpouring While It's Pouring. If I mispronounce his name, I'm sorry. I am not somebody who's good at remembering how to pronounce things. So, sorry. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. You ran through the hallways, being chased by your best friend, giggling and shrieking at each other. The boy watched you, a small blush on his face, but as soon as you were out of his line of sight, the pep in his step grew. This was an everyday occurrence, and the team had definitely noticed a change in energy in their captain. The lightning that had struck him harder than ever before. You. He had noticed you before in his classes, known for being extremely smart, always raising your hands and answering questions, even getting the teachers a little annoyed for how much you raised your hand. But you weren't a complete nerd. Hell, you were the opposite. You had an intense love for your friends and would do anything to keep them safe and defend them. But you knew when you had to call them out, and that was one of the things that he admired about you. A lot of what he loved about you was the fact that you somehow transferred your energy to him, making him more focused on the court, especially if you were in the room. Easily, he got his schoolwork done with you there, sort of like his lucky charm. I wish I was their best friend, he mumbled, looking at the volleyball with sad puppy eyes. Atsumu gave him a weird look before saying something. You want to be friends with a volleyball? I guess you're crazier than I thought. No, not the volleyball, he sadly replied, throwing the volleyball away from himself. Atsumu glanced at where the captain had just been, looking straight at you. You were laughing and giggling away with Osamu, a small blush covering your cheeks. Kida sulked as he picked up another volleyball, sloppily serving the ball. It hit the net lazily. Your eyes flew over to Kida, seeing him sulking with the volleyball. Osa, do you think Kida likes me? You asked him, and the boy nodded. Yeah, he definitely does. He never serves that lazily, Osamu responded, shoving his hands in his shorts pocket. He's probably just jealous. Well, it helps me quite a bit. I'm almost ready to ask him out. Osamu perked up when you had said that. Osamu had been waiting for you to ask out the captain for a really long time. It had been a few months of him dying to see, or of him seeing you. It had been a few months of him dying when he would see you looking at the boy from afar. Well, you better do it soon or I'm gonna tell him myself, he nonchalantly said, taking one of his hands out of his pockets and pushing his hair out of his face. The comment made you swing your head around to stare at the boy innocently. So I don't have to do it? You smiled at him happily, and he pinched his eyebrow, shaking his head in irritation. A pout spread on your lips, and you turned around to look at the wingspiker, a neutral expression covering your features. The boy noticed you looking at him, a small blush coming up to his face. He waved at you, eliciting a smile from you. The sound of your shoes squeaking on the floor as he left Osamu to go over to Kida, your friend and crush. Shin-kun, you greeted, trying to keep yourself from running, but you stopped too late and ended up knocking the boy right down onto his butt. A groan came from his mouth when he hit the floor, losing his breath abruptly. You were hovering over the boy, on your hands and knees. The boy rubbed his back while sitting up. A blush arose on both of your features. Well, what a trippy situation, you think, Shin-kun? I'm really sorry. It's fine, First-name-chan. He stuttered out. Yeah, he could totally keep his cool around you. Yup. You got up off the ground, letting the boy be free from the cage that was your body. The boy stared at the ground in embarrassment, not used to having you so close to his vicinity. Eyes flicked up to where you had offered your hand out to him. He hesitantly took your hand, letting you lift him up. A smile cracked onto your face as you intertwined your fingers with his own after you were done. He bored a hole into your hand with his eyes, not letting go of your hand. He squeezed the wing spiker's hand, dragging him without a word. The boy, not being quite sure what to do. The team barely sent a glance towards you and the team captain leaving. They didn't really care that much. Once you got out of the door, the boy forcefully stopped the two of you, which made you turn around to look at him curiously before realization watched over you. "Oh, I'm making you have a break from practice," you giggled. The boy looked at you curiously, but you put a finger over your lips and winked, causing an abrupt blush to splatter all over his face. Sorry, but I'm the captain. I have to be there. It's fine. I talked to Osa. He's handling it. I know he can," you said, a proud expression covering your features. He lowered his head, knowing that you didn't talk about anyone else like that. He totally thought you had a thing for Osamu, but in reality, Osamu had a thing for someone in his class, which kept you from trying to tell him, or which you kept trying to get him to tell them. Besides, you look like you're on top of your game, or you look like you're not on top of your game. Besides, you look like you're not on top of your game. I think it'd be nice if you sit on the roof for a while. Since the rain makes me calm, it usually helps me clear my thoughts, so I hope it works for you. Fine. It does sound nice, he replied quietly. A smile made its way onto his face as you ran through the rain to get back to your main building, letting out small squeals as the cold rain hit your back. The giggles escaped both of your lips. As soon as you made it inside, the boy letting you pull him along the stairway, running up it whenever you could. The boy silently blushed as he couldn't help staring at your joyful face. Some students in the hallway watched as you held his hand, guiding him up the stairs, which made perfect material for a rumor to start. You finally reached the last staircase, guiding him up the final step as you'd open the door to the rooftop. The rain beat down on the rooftop hard, slightly dribbling into the room. The two of you stood there in silence. Not awkward silence, just peaceful. You let your body press against the wall, sliding down to sit onto the floor, pulling your knees into your chest, staring out onto the floor. The boy took a seat across from you. The calm, rhythmic beating of the rain relaxed the both of you, even to the point where Kida was comfortable sitting with you there in silence. "Shinsuke, have you ever had someone you lost that was very dear to you?" you asked, a neutral expression on your face. You had a distant look, you asked, face with a neutral expression on it. You had a distant look on your face, but that he hadn't noticed before. But it seemed that you always had that look in your eyes. Watching it made him feel like there was nothing but an electric feeling that you usually gave him. This one had a depressive undertone, one of hurt, one of sorrow, like lightning had struck in some grass. "Yes, I have," Kida admitted. You showed no reaction and nodded your head, the same expression staying on your face. "Do you miss this person?" "Thanks for answering my question." You ignored him, a slight expression of pain twitching in your eyes. He could see them getting glossy, but he didn't want to press on it, in case he would hit a hard point. But he did want to know how he could be there for you. Or he didn't want to know that he was going to be there for you. He wanted you to know that he would be there for you. "First name, no matter what, I'll be there for you. You can talk to me. I want you to remember that, okay?" And with that sentence leaving his mouth, the stone face broke, letting tears pour down your face, your lip quivering and your eyes squinting. The boy immediately scooted over to you, pulling you into his arms, rubbing your head gently as you let your emotions take over you as you'd been holding them in all day. Today was a particularly hard day for you. "I know I can, Shin. I know," you whispered. "Thank you. And, you know what? I think I can talk about it, finally." Your voice had ended in a high-pitched syllable, the tears catching up with you. Kida swooped you into his lap, letting you become more comfortable. Clearly there had been something that you hadn't told anyone before. "Okay, shh, let me hear it. Get it off of your chest." He hushed, moving one of his hands to cup your face, breaking you out of your trance, eyelashes wet and clumped together, looking up into his eyes. Now that he was examining you closer, You had permanent bags under your eyes. They were red and puffy, and you seemed so out of it. So different from the way you regularly looked and acted. It's just been a hard day. I mean, I moved here a while ago, but my mom died around 6 years ago, and I haven't been able to see my mother's grave for a year or two. You had sniffed out, snuggling your head into his chest. His eyes widened and his grip on you tightened. He didn't realize you hadn't told anyone about this, and it must have hurt you deeply. Kida couldn't believe that you had held these kind of emotions to yourself for so long. No one had ever heard about your mom before. He had never seen you so vulnerable with anyone besides Osamu. That must have been an awful experience. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, First Name. I'm here for you, he soothed, letting you stay in his arms for around half an hour longer. The rain pooled around the doorframe, touching the edges of Kida's shoes. I'm fine now, you stuttered, grabbing onto his practice jersey tightly, pulling yourself up and glancing into his eyes. Your eyes were now red and puffy, but the tears were gone. Letting out a cough to get some of the mucus in your throat released. Kida stroked your cheek gently, wiping the excess tears away from your face. The boy had planted a small kiss on your forehead, which had made a small blush appear on your cheeks. Oh, I'm glad, Buttercup, that's so cute, he had told you, a smile appearing on his lips as you had moved out of his arms. You glanced out of the door, seeing the rain still pounding hard. The blush on your cheeks had deepened while you nodded because you didn't know what else to do. I suppose you should go back to practice. See you, Shinsuke. You got up, turning back to look at him, a small smile covering your features. He worriedly scrambled up, but by the time he was up, you had ran out of the door, going through the rain to the other side of the roof, opening the door and closing it behind you. But I was gonna say, I love you, that's so cute. Time skip. You ran away? Are you kidding me? Osamu shouted, making you wince, nodding at the boy. Well, he kissed me on the forehead and called me Buttercup, but that doesn't mean any. First Name, he likes you, and if you don't think so, you're... Sorry. You're... Dumbass-chan. Huh? You're such a dumbass, First Name. Osamu pinched the bridge of his nose, walking past you, not sparing you so much as a glance. Hey, don't leave. Gosh, you're so rude. You yelled at him, but he put his fingers in his ears so he wouldn't have to hear you as he walked away. Yeah, he's right. Atsumu had laughed from behind you, causing you to elbow him in the stomach. Gah. I have no idea how Osu deals with your bullshit. I have no idea how he deals with you, dumbass-chan. Atsumu teased, which made you turn around and punch him in the stomach again. Ah, meanie. Whatever, Sum-Sum-chan, you triumphantly said, walking after Osamu. Safe to say, they like you, Kida, Atsumu had told the boy, who was hiding behind the door, listening to your entire conversation, listening to the entire conversation you had with Osamu. You gonna tell them? Time skip, or scenario change. You were waiting by the gym for practice to be over. You finished studying, so you decided to wait for Osamu. But around 15 minutes after you had gotten there, Kida walked out, turning to see you sitting against the wall, a DS in hand. First Name? Why are you here? Kida asked, which snapped you out of your trance as you were playing around in Phoenix, right? Oh, I was waiting for practice to be over, that's what, you nonchalantly added, grabbing your bag. So it's probably over now, right, Shinsuke? Kida was holding a love letter in his hands. His bag was on his shoulder, staring at you with a huge blush on his face. He started walking towards you, eyes glued onto you. The hand that the letter was being held in reached out, handing it to you. Be mine? Your heart skipped multiple beats, face heating up tremendously, A small nod came from you, shaky hands coming up to take the letter, making Kid a smile wider than you had ever seen. Thank you, you murmured, letting the boy take your hand and intertwining his fingers with yours. DS and a love letter in one hand and Shinsuke's in the other as you walked together. The team watching it from the door, seeing the two of you walk away. Oh, that was pretty cute. That was a nice one. I like that a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, make sure you subscribe and tap the notification bell so you get notified every single day. Wait, that was not the right one. So you get notified every single time I post a video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you do want to see more like kid ones, please drop the fanfiction link to something good in the comments, because I can't find any myself. So if you have any, please drop the link in the comments and I'll see it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.